If nothing else, I am punctual. Hey, welcome to the big show. It's your good friend, it's your pal, it's your compadre. It's TC, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to Rock This Town Live. We are here every Monday through Friday, and it's Monday. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. Wow. 4 p.m. Mountain Time Zone. 5 p.m. Central Time Zone. I don't know why I'm doing these out of order. And then finally, 3 p.m. on the West Coast of America. That is 11 p.m. in Wolverhampton, England. And that is also sometime in Tokyo. So there you go. What's going on the big show today? Well, I'm going to talk about, we're going to relive the past with a little bit of the Filthy 15. You know you love the Filthy 15. Remember the PMRC with our good friend, Miss Tipper Gore? Nobody needs that. Anyways, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Rocktober releases from Rhino. That's coming. That hasn't been really announced, but I've got access to the list. So we're going with it, baby. And then Tico the Hitman Torres, apparently still in Bon Jovi. Okay, cool. Very nice. Whatever's left of Bon Jovi at this point, I understand. And then we'll talk about, the greatest rock songs of 1985. It's not the greatest list ever, but, hey, it'll be fun to talk about it. And then finally, we'll do a throwdown, baby. Throwdown, showdown, throwdown. It is the battle of August 25th. It is Boston versus who? Godsmack versus, it's a three-way, versus Rob Zombie. So there you go. My voice is a little today. Also, I was changing some microphone settings. So if the microphone seems overmodulated or anything, let me know in the chat and we'll go from there. But yeah, there you go. So I got to tell you first and foremost, the other night, by the way, happy birthday to Rob Halford. He is 74 today. Rob Halford, 74 today. Vivian Campbell of Def Leppard also has a birthday today. Happy birthday to Vivian Campbell. He puts the fast in Belfast. And then finally, Gene Simmons, who apparently is set for life and set for the next couple of generations, according to Gene Simmons himself, is 76 today. So there you go. Those are some of the birthday boys today. But anyways, the other night, speaking of Rob Halford, I have this dream. I don't know where I am. I might get a cafe outside and I get a call and it's Rob Halford. And he tells me he's in Tokyo. This is my dreams. This is how insane I am. He tells me he's in Tokyo and he's going to announce soon that he's going to retire from Judas Priest. And he has handpicked me to be the next vocalist of Judas Priest. I said, Rob, first and foremost, I appreciate it. But, I'm kind of button down shirt and khaki shorts every day, sandals. I don't think that would play in Judas Priest, and I sure as hell ain't going to change my look. And he's like, well, let me talk to the rest of the band. So, but anyways, it might play in Iron Maiden because I know Steve Harris wears shorts on stage, but I don't know if it would play in Judas Priest. So anyways, long story short, the bass player gets on the phone too. They're trying to talk me into being the new lead singer of Judas Priest. I appreciate that, Rob, but I'm going to go ahead and pass on that opportunity. So that is the dementia that I have when it comes to my dreams. So I know you were looking forward to that, which no, you weren't. I'm sorry. Anyway, so there you go. Hey, Beat After Beat hanging out with us today, and Jen hanging out with us. All right. Happy Monday to you. Let me know if the vocals sound good. Rob, not Rob. Yeah, Rob Halford style. So there you go. All right, let's talk about reliving the past. I love reliving the past in some ways, but remember the Filthy 15 from 40 years ago? I was reminded of this, and hey, Judas Priest is on the list. Congratulations to Rob Halford and Judas Priest. It's a fun list. It's a very fun list. So now there's some good songs on here, and there's some songs that people have probably never heard of. Obviously, the biggest song on here that people have heard of was probably We're Not Gonna Take It or Dress You Up by Madonna. But yeah, the Filthy 15, Judas Priest, Eat Me Alive. I don't know that song. Bastard by Motley Crue. I know of it, but I couldn't sing it. Prince, Darling Nikki. Prince, he's a dirty guy. Love Prince. Prince also with Sugar Walls. He wrote that song for Sheena Easton. Very nice, Prince. Wasp makes the list. Merciful Fate. Vanity. Strap On, Robbie Baby. Don't know that song. Maybe it's a good song. So I guess the question is, what is the best song on this list? And then what is the most obscene song? We'll go with obscene. And it could be AC/DC's Let Me Put My Love Into You. Not very subtle of Brian Johnson and company, but hey, it is what it is. Also, let's see, who else makes the list? Def Leppard with High and Dry. Apparently that's drugs and alcohol. How do you know it's drugs? Well, maybe because of the high, I suppose. Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. Madonna, Dress You Up. I didn't know that was a dirty song. Cyndi Lauper with She Bop. I did know that was a dirty song. Cindy, so dirty. Also, Black Sabbath with Trashed. I don't know that song. Mary Jane Girls, My House, and then Venom with Possess. So I don't know. If I had to take the best song off this list, might be High and Dry. I do like Dress You Up by Madonna. It's a good song. AC/DC, Let Me Put My Love Into You. So I have a misheard lyric on that song. I don't know if you want to hear it. It's quite unappealing. It's I'll tell you now, since I've let the cat out of the bag, no pun intended. So the lyrics that I hear when I hear this song for AC/DC is let me put my love into you. Let me put my love into you, girl. Wait, what's the lyric? I don't even know the lyrics. Let me put my love into, I got to look up the lyrics. Let me put my love into you. All right. Lyrics. Here's the lyrics right here. So let's see. Let me put my love into you, babe. Let me put my love on the line. Let me put my love into you, babe. Now, I thought the next line was let me defecate on your blinds. Kind of a weird line, but apparently the line is actually let me cut your cake with my knife. I see. That's a little more clever lyric and less disgusting than the one I heard. So I don't know. Let me know if you have a favorite song there. Let's see if anybody. Let me see. Bastard by Michael. Lovin' Bastard by Motley Crue. I don't really know that song that well. So Jen votes for Erotic City by Prince. That's not even on the list, Jenny, but apparently it's dirty. So there you go. There you go. Not too shabby. All right, let's go on. Let's talk about Rocktober releases. So Rocktober releases in some ways are out, but they're not out, but they are out. But if you know the way to get access to stuff, you kind of see them. So let me tell you. Oh, I'm moving things around here inadvertently. So all right, let me do this. Okay. So Mr. Bungle apparently is going to be a Rocktober release. Now these aren't official, but they are coming out. So I'm guessing they're all going to be announced here in the next couple of days, if not within 24 hours. Mr. Bungle, 3 reissues for Mr. Bungle, actually, if you're into Mr. Bungle stuff. Disco Volante, also California, and then the self-titled. The first one I mentioned, Disco Volante, will be on a light blue vinyl, 2 LP. California Red LP, 2 LP, and then Mr. Bungle, the self-titled, is going to be orange, 2 LP as well. What else is coming out? Oh, apparently We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll by Black Sabbath on green vinyl. That's a 2 LP. Tusk from Fleetwood Mac, a 2 LP blue vinyl. What else? Oh, Sex Pistols. If you know the Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. It's that record. That is a clear LP coming out on October 3rd. Coral Fang by the Distillers. That's a red and black splatter vinyl coming out on October 3rd as well. There's some other stuff in here as well. Oh, Porno for Pyros. That's going to be, I think, on color vinyl. That's the self-titled debut from Porno for Pyros. Early Steps by the Faces. Okay. I don't really know that one. Now, this is interesting. ZZ Top. We're getting a reissue of Recycler, which I don't know if I've ever seen a copy of that record ever, at least on vinyl. That's probably going to be a 2 LP because it's priced at $39.99. Or it actually might be what they call the Rhino Reserve collection. So also Del Guayo, El Loco, Eliminator, Afterburner. So very, very nice on that. And then some Warren Zevon. Learning to Flinch. Okay, cool. Mr. Bad Example and Mutineer. And is that it? I think that might be it. Yeah. Okay. So that's part of the list. Okay. The other part of the list is Train of Thought on clear vinyl, 2 LP from Dream Theater. I can't say this. Octavarian by Dream Theater. That is coming out. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence by Dream Theater. Systematic Chaos by Dream Theater. That's on clear vinyl. Actually, all these are on clear vinyl. And then what else am I missing? A couple more, 2 more, 3 more. Big Generator, Orange Vinyl from Yes. That's a great album from Yes. I'm going to talk about this in just a little bit more, but 90125 from Yes. That's a record that I've never seen repressed, so I'm really happy that's getting a repress. And then Stone Temple Pilots, the record from 2010 on red vinyl, that is self-titled on that one. That does have the original band in it, the DeLeo brothers, the drummer, and then Scott Weiland. So that's kind of what's coming out. Anything jump out at you there as far as that list of like, ooh, that's kind of sexy, at least when it comes to vinyl? Let me know in the chat. And if there's nothing else going on, well, then there you go. Hey, James, good to see you. James hanging out with us today. That's always a good thing. So there you go. Cool. Love Dream Theater. Beat After Beat says, saw them on the Images and Words tour. Ooh, that is very, very sexy in my humble opinion. So there you go. So that's kind of the Rocktober releases. There's a couple. Well, there's the Yes one. I'll dive into that one a little more, and then there's a David Lee Roth one that I'll tell you a story on. Actually, I didn't mention the David Lee Roth one, so that's what's coming up. So there you go. Tico de Hitman Torres has taken to social media and says, yeah, I'm still in Bon Jovi. He basically says, did you retire from music, from the band Bon Jovi? Well, no, I have no idea how this stuff starts. So Tico Torres debunks retirement rumors, saying that musicians don't retire, especially me. So I guess that's good, right? Yeah, it's good. I think the story came from the fact that David Bryan and John Bon Jovi were on a podcast together, I guess, David Bryan's podcast, I think it was, where Bon Jovi fans kind of were wondering, because David Bryan says, hey, we're the last 2 in the band of the originals. We're the 2 originals. That's what he said. So people thought, I guess, and I can certainly understand that, oh, is Tico no longer in the band? Because everybody thinks of Tico and Richie and Alec as originals, but apparently when the album when Bon Jovi was kind of first assembled, David Bryan was kind of one of the originals with John, and then Tico came in just a bit later, but in time for the first record. So I don't know. Anyways, I was thinking, maybe I'm crazy. What if John Bon Jovi becomes Lou Gramm? In some ways, would it be such a terrible disaster? I know if you're a Bon Jovi fan, if you're a purist, you would be like, oh my God, you're telling me that John Bon Jovi is only going to come out for like 3 or 4 songs a night, and the rest of the time you're going to have somebody else singing? Well, what if that somebody else was Richie singing? Would that be so bad? You got Richie, you got Tico, you got David Bryan, you got Hugh McDonald. Those guys put on a show. Maybe John comes out for the first 2 songs, and then he goes out and chills for the rest of the night, and then Richie handles the rest of the vocals. Just saying, might be fun, right? We get Bon Jovi that way, and then finally John comes out for maybe the encore, or the last 3 songs. And I know people would be like, no, I don't want to see that. Or what if it was another singer that filled in, like a Kelly Hansen type, but obviously not Kelly Hansen, like Kelly has done with Foreigner over the years, with Lou Gramm occasionally making an appearance. I don't know. I'm just thinking it's so disappointing that some of these bands, I know there's tribute bands out there, and that's nice, but I kind of like after all of these years, I kind of like what Foreigner has done, and is just kind of letting the band continue without Mick Jones, without Lou Gramm, without the originals. And they're still out there. The name is the name, right? And does that all that counts? Obviously, with Bon Jovi, Richie and John are the stars. John specifically, because it has his name on it. But I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box a little bit, because we're going to have a lot of these bands ending over the next 10 plus years. And it's just like sad. I mean, it's just like, okay, if we're all in our 70s and we want to go see Bon Jovi, I mean, would it be the worst if it was like a Bon Jovi band, like, I don't know, Foreigner? I don't know. Maybe not. So there you go. That is my humble opinion on that one. All right, cool. But Richie Sambora has a way better voice than John Bon Jovi at this point. Probably, I'm sure you're 100% right there, beat after beat. And Jen loves Richie's voice as well. So I don't know. But would you go to a show where John only comes out for a handful of songs, 5 songs? Maybe you can handle 5 songs a night, but you're getting John Bon Jovi at 90% instead of getting him at 38% for the whole show. I don't know. Would you do that? I don't know. To me, I kind of would do that in some ways. So there you go. Hey, a reminder, if you want to be on the show, and I gotta start reaching out to some more people. I keep saying that, and I haven't done it yet, but I know who I want to reach out to. So we'll keep it going. Show off your grails. Just want a reminder on that bad boy. All right, cool. 1985 rock songs. I wanted to put together a list of the best 1985 rock songs, and this is the list I came up with. At least this is the list I liked at the moment. Now, there's a bunch of songs I could have put on the list that I didn't. Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. To me, it's a good song, but it's never a song that I'm going to seek out and play. If it comes on the radio or on Spotify and like on a playlist, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's cool. Great song. Good solo. Really good solo by Mick Mars. So there you go. Blind in Texas is a song that didn't make my list. Also that didn't make my list. This was not a good song in my humble opinion, but I liked it at the time. Twisted Sister doing the cover of Leader of the Pack. You remember that song? Oofta. I think 40 years later, I'm kind of embarrassed that I like it, but at the time I did like it. So there you go. Obviously, David Lee Roth had his solo record out, the Crazy from the Heat EP, including Just a Gigolo, Rat, which we'll talk about here. Tears Are Falling. That was when Mr. Paul Stanley was wearing the chicken gloves. I love the chicken gloves in the video for Tears Are Falling by Kiss. Invincible by Pat Benatar, another song that it could have been on the list. What else? Smoking in the Boys' Room by Motley Crue. I left that off the list. That Theater of Pain record, just not that great in my humble opinion, but I don't know. There's a couple Dawkins songs that didn't make my list that I think are really good. Unchained the Night and The Hunter. Love that stuff. Midnight Dynamite from Kicks I could have had on there. I chose not to put that on there. I really like Let the Music Do the Talking by Aerosmith. That came out in 85. Thought that was great. Obviously, the first Megadeth record was out, but it didn't include anything there. Big Money from Rush. I did like that song. Rain from The Cult. I heard that the other day on Sirius XM. And then I think that's kind of it. There was some Yngwie Malmsteen out, but that's kind of the gist of it. So my top 6, I'm going Madhouse by my friends in Anthrax. Love that song from 1985. Boom. Very, very sexy. Y&T, Summertime Girls. Very nice. Heart, Never. I like that song. I also like the Looks That Kill song from Heart off the self-titled record there from 1985, kind of their comeback record. But I really like Never. Good video. All these kind of had really good videos, actually. Summertime Girls, they're all cheesy at this point, but they were fun. Dokken in My Dreams. I heard that today, and while that song has kind of maybe not aged as well as I hoped it would, that guitar solo by George Lynch is incendiary. It is so good. Also, Rat, Boom, You're in Love, Warren DeMartini. Speaking of incendiary, the guy wrote the book on Incendiary. And then, to me, I really love In and Out of Love by Bon Jovi. I think that song is great. I think the live version of that, when Bon Jovi used to do that song, it's been a long time since they've played that song. I always thought that was great. And, you kind of need Richie on that, man, because Richie he rocks it live, baby. So there you go. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing a Richie Sambora tour. How about a Richie who could we, maybe that's what we should do. Richie Sambora, are you watching what Joe Perry is doing? So maybe put together a band, maybe Tico the Hitman. See, but John Bon Jovi would probably see that as like your you're not loyal to me, and he'd probably fire Tico. But how about a Richie Sambora tour, a la what Joe Perry's doing, where they go into the back catalog, some of the stuff they don't do anymore, like In and Out of Love, boom, and make it sexy and bring some people up, kind of some people that are into Bon Jovi, like who's like, I know there's Bon Jovi fans out there. They don't even have to be our age. They could be a little younger, people that were influenced by Bon Jovi, and kind of do like an all-star lineup of doing, the Richie Sambora project. I would love that. I'm trying to get Bon Jovi back somehow touring, whether it's Richie or John or whatever. We got to make it happen, man. And then Richie could go back and do all these songs that John doesn't do anymore from like the first 3 records. I love Pink Flamingos and Let It Rock. Obviously, Pink Flamingos, if you never knew the name of that, that's the kind of the opening there to Let It Rock off of Slippery. So Let It Rock would be a great song. In and Out of Love, boom. Very, very nice. So there you go. Cool. Turn up the radio. Indeed. I would love to turn up the radio. Autograph. I see that Steve Plunkett's actually covering himself with a cover, the lead singer of, lead singer of Autograph from back in the day. So there you go. All right, cool. What else am I missing? 85 was a party year for music. It wasn't very much a party year. So there you go. And Richie Sambora Project, Jen says, let's go. Indeed. And boom, Beat After Beat is in on that as well. We got to make that happen. I mean, if John ain't going to be out there touring, let's do the Richie Sambora Project, or we call it whatever you want, and do some old Bon Jovi stuff, man. I don't know. When's the last time Richie played live? Richie Sambora set list. Let me see if I can find a Richie Sambora set list. He's doing the big hits. Let's see. It's been 3 years since Richie played live. So that's a long time. And well, wow. He played live in London and they only did a couple of songs. Last time he's properly done a tour, I don't know when the last time he really hasn't done anything. That sucks. Oh, that sucks. November 15th, 2018. 7 songs. Living on a Prayer, Lean on Me, Bill Withers. Respect Yourself, the Staple Singers. Bridge Over Troubled Water. Tears in Heaven, It's My Life, and I'll Be There for You. Yeah, Richie. We got to plant some seeds. Baby. So there you go. All right. New vinyl coming out. Announcements. Queens of the Stone Age. Obviously, we had the Rocktober stuff at the beginning of the show. If you're just tuning in, boom, you can rewind. Always a good feature on the internet. Whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, you can watch whenever you want on YouTube. And then, of course, the podcast will be available if you missed some of the show as well. And you can listen in the car or whatever else you're doing. Maybe while you're humping or whatever. That might not be the sexiest thing. She might be like, yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, so there you go. Queens of the Stone Age live in the Catacombs. This is an indie exclusive vinyl. So this, I think they put out maybe about a month or 2 ago on their own website. Sold out right away. And never mind. You're not going to be able to get this. This is already pre-sold out as well. So if you're a Queens of the Stone Age fan, maybe you can find one on eBay or an aftermarket place like Discogs or whatever. But that comes out September 26th. Josh Homme and company live from the Catacombs. Not too shabby. This is actually they must be doing a second pressing of Warrants Ultraphobic. Comes out October 3rd for $33. This is the black vinyl version. Jen and I have the party version, which is on color vinyl. So very nice. But so that's getting a repress. Yes, as I mentioned. So this is actually a Rhino Reserve vinyl, which means what they do with the Rhino Reserve stuff, this is the arm of Warner Brothers, who handles Warner Brothers titles in the past, and Atlantic. Warner Brothers also owns Atlantic. So they take legendary albums and put them on 180-gram premium quality black vinyl. So basically kind of crystal clear vinyl, the good stuff, not the stuff that Coldplay is doing with eco vinyl, which sounds like crap. Billie Eilish and Coldplay have done that. Ugh. Those records do not sound good, unfortunately. Anyway, so I'm excited for this because this is a great album. Obviously, Owner of a Lonely Heart is the monster off this record. Love the guitar playing, love the bass line. Everything about that song is fantastic. 90125, Leave It is on there as well. I think It Can Happen is on there. Good stuff. That comes out October 3rd, and that's actually going to be part of Rocktober. So very nice. Yes, concur, Beat After Beat. That is a great record. It is maybe in some ways an underrated record. Let me find out. What am I missing? Did I miss anything off that track list? No, I'm not looking. That's not what I wanted to find there. Let me find this really quick. The track listing is Owner of a Lonely Heart, Hold On, It Can Happen, Changes, Cinema, Leave It, Our Song. Yeah, just so many good songs off that record. This one, okay. This one is interesting. This was announced, it might have been last year or earlier this year as an exclusive to Rhino Records' website, rhino.com, I believe it is. So this is David Lee Roth, the Warner recordings, 1985 to 1994. Well, suffice it to say, they limited this to 2,000, and they didn't sell that many of them. So now they're going to make it available to every, record store around the country. I don't know if it's going to be part of quote unquote Rocktober, but it is coming out in Rocktober 3rd, $125. It's a little pricey, and you got to really love the Dave stuff. Obviously, you got Crazy from the Heat on there. You got Eat 'Em and Smile. You got Skyscraper. What is it? A Little Ain't Enough. And then finally, Your Filthy Little Mouth. So, yeah, I mean, I know from doing the show, everybody loved Eat 'Em and Smile. It's a great record. Skyscraper would sell very well when we did the live show, when we had the record store. And then Crazy from the Heat would actually sell pretty well, too. Once, I think there was only one time we got A Little Ain't Enough in, and it sold, but there wasn't a lot of interest in it, honestly. And then Your Filthy Little Mouth, I've never actually seen that record in person. So if you're a David Lee Roth collector, here's your chance. Before, you could only previously get it off of Rhino, but now it'll be in record stores if you want to pick it up. I usually what they did with Rhino releases in this case, like they did with Dream Theater, is they would do is release it on Rhino's site as a box set and then release individual versions of the records on color vinyl in record stores. Okay. So odds are, Eat 'Em and Smile and Skyscraper and the other records might have been planned as a color vinyl variation after the box set sold out. But I'm guessing we're probably not going to get that. Or maybe if these sell faster than Rhino thinks they will, or they have been selling, unfortunately, maybe we'll get the color variation. So keep that in mind if you're looking to for some David Lee Roth, baby. A reminder, we're live on YouTube. Exclusive content starting this week, actually at the end of the week. I'm going to do the best Metallica records exclusively for YouTube. I'm just going to post it on YouTube. My list and my the way I do things is going to be completely different from what you're used to. So I like to think that I've come up with a pretty good idea on how I'm going to do this. And it's going to be fun. There's not going to be any Lulu. I'm not going to waste anybody's time on doing Lulu with Metallica and Lou Reed. Nobody wants that, right? And I'm going to mix in some stuff that you probably wouldn't have expected. So that's the first thing coming up, probably on Friday, because Mandatory Metallica launches that day on Sirius XM. I'm actually looking forward to that. I kind of love Mandatory Metallica. I was actually thinking about Def Leppard today. So I'm thinking, Def Leppard's one of these bands that can be on the 80s channel on Sirius XM, on Classic Rewind, on Ozzy's Boneyard, and then on Hair Nation. One of those rare bands that crosses 4 genres of music. So I thought, well, that's pretty good. That's maybe why Def Leppard continues to be popular this day, because they just get played all over the place, especially on, even terrestrial radio, but also on satellite radio. So there you go. All right, we got the battle coming here, baby. So, Battle of August 25th. Initially, in my research, I thought that what was it? And Justice for All came out today, but it didn't. It didn't come out till like September 17th. Sometimes what you find on the internet is a fountain of misinformation. I try to correct that. I mean, it's beyond a fountain of misinformation. It's just so insane. Like this site I was looking at, I think it was loudwire.com. And Loudwire and Ultimate Classic Rock, they're like sister sites. Good luck ever going backward on one of those sites. They like trap you into their sites, even in a browser. It's like, and trying to read these sites on a phone is just an exercise in futility because there's so many damn ads. But anyways, Loudwire had like August 25th, Metallica and Justice for All. No, it didn't come out till like September 17th. And then like tomorrow they had the best record coming out on that was released on August 26th in history. My Own Prison by Creed. And turns out that came out like April 17th in 1997. So I don't know what they're cooking over there. I don't know if they're using AI to generate some of their content, but it's shite. Shite? I smell shite. Anyways, today, August. So it's okay. It's very nice. It works well. That's what I'm trying to say. That And Justice for All isn't in here because it didn't come out on August 25th. However, 3 classic records did. Who you got? Boston self-titled debut. More Than a Feeling. Here we go, Jenny. Peace of Mind's on there. Foreplay is so good. And then into Long Time. Smokin'. I didn't even add Rock and Roll Band or Hitch a Ride. I mean, it is literally a greatest hits record out of the box. Such a fantastic record. Godsmack came out in 1998, 22 years later. Is that 22 years? Yeah, 22 years later. Actually, on the same day, Godsmack and Hellbilly Deluxe came out. That's kind of funny. Whatever. Great song. Keep Away, Voodoo, Bad Religion. Very nice. Sold 5 million copies. And then Hillbilly Deluxe sold 3 million copies back in the day. Dragula, Living Dead Girl, and Super Beast. If I had to throw one out immediately, while I love Godsmack and they're a really cool band, I would probably have to throw out Godsmack because of the singles, man. Dragula, Living Dead Girl, Super Beast. Those are all monster songs from Mr. Rob Zombie. Love them. Then it comes down to Boston, in my mind, versus Rob Zombie. And I mean, can you really rival Boston with that debut record, man? Not only the sales, but the fact that it's like Appetite for Destruction in some ways, you know? In fact, it's more of those, well, I would say more of the songs off of Boston's first record get played than most any other debut record, whether it's Led Zeppelin's first record or Black Sabbath. That really doesn't count. Van Halen's first record. Appetite. I know you hear on the radio, you hear Rocket Queen, Mr. Brownstone, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle. But with Boston, you're hearing everything, man. So there you go. I don't know. So what you thinking? Who you got? Boston or Rob Zombie or Godsmack, of course. There you go. Jen's going with Boston, Melodic Brilliance. Though I really love Hellbilly Deluxe. Indeed. Herver hanging out with us as well. Good to see you. He says it's hard between Rob Zombie and Godsmack. Very nice. And Beat After Beat, going to pass on this one. Apparently not a fan of any of this stuff. So, well, you know, it happens. It can happen. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. Somebody calling my phone. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Rob Halford again. At the beginning of this show, I was telling the story about how I dreamed the other night that Rob Halford was retiring and he wanted me to be the new lead singer of Judas Priest. Obviously, Rob Halford is not retiring, and there's no chance of me being the lead singer of Judas Priest. Now, the lead singer of Queensryche, maybe. We'll see. Anyways, there you go. All right, cool. Yeah, Beat is speechless. And Michael's going Boston. Very nice. Yeah, there is no skips on that record. It is so good. So as much as I love Rob Zombie, I'm going to go Boston. So at this point, it seems the consensus in the room is, you know, live in the chat is Boston. However, we'll see. We'll put it up on Facebook, and then we'll also obviously have the show up on YouTube. And if you want to comment after the fact, that would be cool beans, as they say. All right, let me actually throw the chat up here for a second. So Beat After Beat says, I'm a fan. I love them all, but too many verses. Yeah, I know. But it's just like, who do I exclude? I was just like, I could exclude Godsmack, but I wanted to include them because I think they deserve to be included. So try to do a three-way today. So there it is. I see you. I see your point, though. So not too shabby. All right, cool. All right, Bruce Dickinson out on tour. His tour just started. He's in Phoenix tonight, Phoenix, Arizona. And apparently, so I was giving Bruce Dickinson some love maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, that he doesn't do any Iron Maiden songs. You got David Lee Roth out there doing Van Halen, but I realize Eddie's not with us anymore. You got Stephen Pearcy, you got Bret Michaels doing his thing without the guys in Poison. You got Vince Neil doing the Motley Crue thing without the guys in Motley Crue. Well, apparently Bruce Dickinson is going to do a Maiden song on this tour. However, keep in mind, it's a song that he wrote. So, and it's probably a song that, I don't know, Maiden has maybe never done in some ways. Let me find out what song it was. I don't remember what song it was. I did see that he'd done the song, but let me see the set list here. And there it is. What is the Maiden song? Oh, Flash of the Blade. That's what it was. So there you go. One Iron Maiden song. I think that's respectable. 0 or 1. That's why I think Bruce Dickinson is so damn cool, in my humble opinion. They also do apparently a cover of Frankenstein by Edgar Winter Group. So we got that going for us if you're in love with a little Maiden and Bruce Dickinson. Johnny Fogerty going out on the road, the Legacy Tour. Looks like he's playing a lot of stuff on the East Coast mostly. An artist, Creedence Clearwater Revival, that I've come to love over the years, which is a pretty good way to look at things. Also, ZZ Top going on the road. Actually, they're out on the road already. Where are they tomorrow night? So let's see. Tomorrow night, they're in Troutdale, Oregon. Very nice. And one of the things I like about this is that Night Ranger is one of the openers. So that's cool. Not on all the dates, but on some of the dates. Let's see. Night Ranger and Molly Hatchet opening, I think, in California, in Murphy's, California, coming up this weekend. So Molly Hatchet, when's the last time you thought of Molly Hatchet? Flirting with Disaster, baby. Name 2 Molly Hatchet songs. I can name one. Night Ranger, always a cool band. So ZZ Top out on tour. And then Primus actually doing a show, actually 2 shows for kind of New Year's at the Fox Theater in Oakland, December 30th and 31st. I saw from Woodstock, I think it was Woodstock 94 or 95 or something like that, maybe 94. I saw Primus doing Master of Puppets. They just do kind of the opening, but, Les Claypool, Mr. Bass player there. So he's playing the bass there, and then the guitar player jumps in every once in a while. So anyways, very cool. So there you go. A reminder, if you're digging the show, make sure you smash the like button. That's all I got, baby. Smash the like button. There's the hammer. Put it down. Jen says she's going to redo my graphics package because it looks hideous. And I know it kind of looks hideous. So what are you going to do there? And so that's kind of what's going on the show today. Jen says Night Ranger, the young band in that group. Yeah, no, I was going to say no shit. No shit, right? Wow. ZZ Top, they're like 150. The great thing about ZZ Top is anybody that wears masks is that, ZZ Top, those guys look like they were 70 in 1983. So they kind of look the same, just like, Kiss. If they put the makeup on, they were old in 77 and, now they're still old. So there you go. And then, bands like that, it's maybe not too bad of a racket to have that look. So, in my humble opinion, Beat After Beat says Bruce in great shape. Yeah, he is. He is fantastic. So, there you go, baby. You still got the milk, TC, while I have the cereal. Nice. Very nice. So there you go. I'm going to wrap it up. Big show in the book today. Rock This Town Live. We're here every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m., 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time, 3 Pacific. I appreciate you hanging out. And That's the big show for today. I got nothing else to say. Like I said, I'm going to put together this Metallica, the best Metallica albums for YouTube coming up. That'll debut probably on Friday. So there you go. And hope you guys have a wonderful night. And thanks for hanging